What's up, everyone?
Hello.
Hey, Oscar. How you doing?
How's it going?
Good.
Pretty good. Let's see. Yeah. So.
You ready for this? So.
Yeah.
Last week, a lot of things happened, and so we had to take a little bit of a unexpected break. So for those of you that were anxiously awaiting Oscar's famous ratatouille, I'm sorry for the delay. But you know what? I am sure that all of this time and all of this wait is going to culminate into something spectacular. A lot of pressure. But yeah, no, it'll be
I'm
good.
Excited.
Yeah. So you're ready. You're ready.
I'm ready.
Cool. So we just want to thank you for joining us, everyone, and let me start logging into the other things at the same time, because that way I can see the different messages and stuff. But how was the preparation for this? Oh, wait, actually, how was last week? How are you doing? How's
Pretty good. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm glad the obviously I'm not in Houston, but I'm glad the hurricane kind of missed Houston. So I'm glad the people that are in Houston right now are doing all right also. But yeah, I've been doing fine.
awesome.
Like I said earlier, we're sorry we missed last week's broadcast, but there was a lot of stuff going on. There was a hurricane that was going on. Like, people were scared. We didn't want to. We thought this broadcast might have been a little untimely, so we decided not to do it last week, and we're resuming this week. So yeah, we're really excited.
Yeah. No, and now we're in a new month, so that's incredible. So everyone, hey, like, this is an important month, and just want to make sure that we take full advantage of every single day, every single opportunity. And you know what? I'm just going to plug it in right now. Fill out your census. We have 27 days to do it. So you know what? Let's get this done. All right. So new month, new recipe. Yeah, and oh man, there's a surprise, because right now there's just 2 windows on here, but I think this cook along is going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, we're taking it to the next level. We're taking it to the next level today, and I think for those of you who are watching, you will be very, very pleasantly surprised. I know I was super happy that I was able to do this, but I bet you guys will like it even more than I do.
Yeah, I'm excited. Cool. All right. So I'm ready to go. You let me know when to unveil this new angle.
Oh yeah, it's a new angle, all right. All right.
It is.
Well, I'm gonna start off. Let's not reveal the angle yet. I'm gonna start off by talking a little bit about the dish. So ratatouille. That's what I'm making today. So ratatouille is one of my favorite dishes. Not because it's the best tasting dish I've ever had, but because of the movie Ratatouille. I love that movie, and I love making this dish because I like the movie. The dish is great, but This might also be a plug for the movie. But anyways, it's a French dish. It's layered vegetables on top of a piperade, which is like a pepper and tomato based kind of sauce. It's almost like a little vinaigrette kind of thing. But it's like a tomato and pepper and garlic type of sauce that sits underneath these vegetables. And the vegetables are zucchini, squash, tomato, and eggplant. So to top it all off, we have a nice little vinaigrette. And for those of you that saw the recipe that Maria had uploaded before, that had shared with the advertisement, so this recipe,
one right here.
Yeah, so that recipe, right? So that recipe was made by Thomas Keller, a really well-known chef here in the United States, Michelin-starred chef. He actually created this recipe for the movie Ratatouille. So it's really interesting. Yeah, it's great. Like, that movie is so well researched. They had Thomas Keller actually come on and like be their guide basically through the kitchen, right? So this is a recipe that was made by him. When I first announced this 2 weeks ago, someone had told me to take an Asian twist on it. So I am going to be adding some ingredients that are not in this recipe to create that Asian twist. So mainly what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be changing a little bit about the piperade, which is that sauce that's at the bottom of this dish. I'm going to be making that in a way that has a little more Asian flavor, and then the vinaigrette that goes on top is also going to have a little more Asian flavor. The vegetables that are roasting are not going to change that much because they're just slices of vegetable in there. But I found a way to add kind of an Asian flavor, a sesame, ginger, garlic type of flavor into this dish to make it a little more Asian inspired. So with that being said, we can unveil my new angle, and I can talk you through the ingredients I have here today.
Okay, is everybody ready for this? Dun dun dun. Wow.
All right, this is it. This is my new angle, right? So what we have here is a nice little setup. You can see all of my ingredients. So we're going to start up here with orange pepper. We have yellow pepper. We have red pepper, all bell peppers. We have 2 tomatoes.
Okay, I am loving this.
We also have a little bit of a lot of garlic and a little bit of ginger. We have 2 other tomatoes here. So these are separated for a reason. We also have here our eggplant, our zucchini, our squash, parsley, and we have half an onion, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to prepare the piperade. So the stuff that's going into piperade, which is that sauce at the bottom, is these. We're putting all these peppers in there. We're putting these 2 tomatoes in there.
Okay.
We're putting a bit of garlic, a bit of ginger, all this onion, and this parsley also. So the first step is we're actually going to take these and roast these in the oven for a little bit, because what we want to do is take off the skin on these peppers. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to put these on a roasting pan, which I have right here. So we're going to put these face up on a roasting pan, skin side up.
Okay.
And we're going to put these into an oven. I have my oven set at 350 degrees. And I have my oven set at 350 degrees, and I'm going to put it on the top shelf. So it gets a lot of heat from the top. What I want to do is I want to force the skin to separate from the rest of the pepper. So I'm going to put this in there, and you only need to leave it in there for like 10 or 15 minutes, not very long. So I'm going to put this in. And while that's in there, I'm going to start doing preparing my other ingredients. So first, I'm going to get my pan, and I'm going to put some oil in it, put it on the stove at like low heat.
Okay. Wow. So
and what I did, I'm putting some avocado oil in there, but I'm also going to add a little bit of sesame oil. So we're adding a little bit of a different flavor into this. And I'm going to have it at low heat, like I said before. And now we're going to start prepping my other ingredients. So what we need for the rest of this is we need this onion.
Mm-hmm.
We need about 4 or 5 little cloves of garlic. We're going to need these tomatoes, so I'll show you what we can do with them in a second. And we will eventually need this parsley. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to kind of dice this tomato up. So what I'm doing right now is I'm cutting little thin slices. I just cut thin slices down.
Okay.
The onion like this, right? So they're like they're about 1/2 centimeter thick. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna slice the onion with 2 slices. One time through here, so at the bottom, like the bottom kind of like 1/2 centimeter, and then the top kind of 1/2 centimeter. I'm gonna do 2 slices all the way through until I get to around right here, right? So I'll show you right now.
Oh wow. This is a lot of preparation. And I love the fact that you're using sesame oil. I love sesame oil.
Oh, it's good. It's good. So I just made us 2 slices. And what I'm going to do now is cut down. And you'll see that, look at that.
Oh, okay.
That's a great dice, right? I have these little straggler pieces. I'm just going to cut them up. Just to the side. Right to the side. And I'm going to dice the rest of this onion.
And so is this going to be like part of the sauce?
Yep. This is
Okay.
going to be part of the sauce.
Wow. And so right now, so you said the peppers that are roasting 10 to 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, 10 to 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this to the side. I'm going to get my garlic. I'm going to smash these and mince them. So I'm going to smash that.
Oh. Okay, I've never done that.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier to mince. I'm going to smash that, and then I'm just going to mince them.
Okay, wow. Everyone, this is legit. So thank you for everybody that's tuning in. If you have any questions about, the preparation, what's going on with, I'm sorry if you guys are hearing some feedback. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Hopefully it's better. But,
is everything all right?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or if you're doing this along with Oscar, let us know. Let us know where you're at in the preparation or any questions that you may have about how he's preparing the ingredients for them.
Yeah, I love to answer questions, so feel free to ask. So the last thing we're going to add to this is a little bit of ginger. So I'm going to just take a little slice of it. Just going to get off the skin. I'm going to take that skin off. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use a grater. I'm gonna grate the ginger.
So remind me again of the ingredients that you're subbing in or that you're adding to add the Asian twist. Is ginger one of them?
Yeah, ginger is one of them.
So far, ginger and sesame oil.
Yep. So grated most of the ginger. The rest of it I'm just gonna mince really fine. All right. So these are our first three ingredients for the sauce that we're gonna put into the pan. So the pan is hot now. Just gonna put in the ginger, the garlic, have that flavor in there and have that aroma. And then I'm gonna put in all of the onions.
Wow, okay.
So now that's on the stove, and we're gonna let this sit on the stove for about 10 minutes. You want to be watching this in case you have your heat turned on too high. So not everyone has the same type of stove. What we want to achieve here with the onions right now is we want the onions to soften, but we don't want them to brown, which means you don't want your heat turned on too high. You just want them to turn translucent, showing that they're cooked, right? So I'm going to stir this around a little bit, and it's very important that you keep a close eye on this. If you're new to cooking this dish or you're new to cooking onions in this way, you're going to want to pay very close attention. I just did this earlier today to test this thing out. So I kind of know what it's going to sound like when it's hitting that point where it might be browning a little bit. So just before then, I'll go and turn down the heat a little, stir it around, and make sure it's cooking evenly. While that's happening, what I'm going to do is I'm going to boil some water. So the next step is actually, we're going to take these 2 tomatoes here, and we are going to peel them. So we're going to remove the skin, and we're going to cut them up into little pieces, save the juice, all the stuff in this little bowl, and we're going to put this into that sauce. So like I said before, this is very tomato-y, and this is it. This is why. So I'm going to go and heat up some water real quick, and I'll be right back.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So,
so while we're waiting for water to boil, we're waiting for we're waiting for water to boil and this to cook. Let me just tell you a little bit about the spices we're using today. So we have our normal stuff. We have salt. We have thyme, which is asked for in the recipe.
mm-hmm.
And we have black pepper in this grinder, right? Here's some stuff that is in the recipe, and it's asked for in the recipe, but I'm going to change it a little. The recipe asks for olive oil a lot. I'm mostly going to replace all of that with sesame oil.
Okay.
When you make the vinaigrette, it wants you to have balsamic vinegar. I don't have balsamic vinegar, but I do have other liquids that will add an Asian flavor and still have some of that sourness. So I'm going to be using, this is not Asian, this is fermented honey. This is kind of my replacement for balsamic vinegar. And I'm also going to be using a little bit of ponzu sauce. It has a very distinct flavor, kind of like a very light flavor, but also quite dense. It's almost like a herb. It's like a herby kind of flavor, but it's really dense.
Okay.
And then I have some soy sauce that I'm going to be using. I'm also going to be using a little bit of Shaoxing cooking wine as part of the sauce process to give a little more Asian kick to the sauce. And I'm going to be using a little bit of fish sauce also in the beginning process, making this tomato, onion, and pepper sauce we have.
Okay.
We've also got Chinese 5-spice.
Okay.
You can get this from pretty much any market that has spices, any store that has spices. It has a little bit of a sweet flavor. It's really, really delicious. It's great on meat, great on a lot of stuff, but it's going to be great in our sauce right now, and it's going to be great later also in our vinaigrette. So my onions are starting to make that sound, starting to sound like they're going to cook a little hard, so I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit and let it continue cooking. Our water just finished boiling, so I'm going to go and get that water, and I'm going to pour it onto our tomatoes. Onto our whole tomatoes, skin on right now. And what the hot water is going to do is it's going to pull the skin back a little bit. So I've made little cuts at the top of these tomatoes.
Oh, hold on.
See
okay.
that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow.
So I made little cuts at the top of the tomatoes so that when I pour the water on them, it'll widen those cuts, make them longer, right? So I'm going to go get it right now.
Okay. Wow, I had never thought about making those cuts at the top of a tomato. So is this kind of like is it blanching, but like the opposite because it's hot?
Blanching is, so what blanching is you're cooking something of boiling water really quickly so that you can cook off some of the, like, let's say you're trying to cook, I don't know, like green beans, right? You're blanching green beans. The point of blanching is to cook it just so that it's cooked, so it's not completely raw, but not enough to where it's cooked completely through and it's soft, right? So it's a really quick process where you boil something really, really quickly just to give it like a surface cook, and then you can finish cooking it somewhere else or eat it semi raw, right? I guess this is sort of like blanching. I don't know. But if you look at this, you see that. I don't know if you can see it, but the skin is lifting off. That's because of the hole that we had cut there, or the little slice I cut there earlier. It just tore the skin off, right? So.
Oh, wow. That's pretty fast.
Yeah, it's really fast. It reacts almost instantaneous. So I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this water out.
Wow.
Let's take these tomatoes out. And I'm going to start peeling them.
I mean, that's just such a fast process.
Yeah. And there we go. We have one tomato already peeled.
Okay. That's so cool. And so, I mean, there's no use for the peels, right?
Nah, we're not using no peels.
Okay.
I can't really think of how you would use these.
I don't know.
We're going to get this little paring knife here and have it help out a little bit.
That's so cool. So right now you still have the onion on the stove, right?
Yep.
Like the onions, garlic, and ginger on the stove, and then in the oven you have the 3 peppers that are roasting.
Yeah, they're roasting right now. Okay. Just roasting.
Well, I mean, this definitely looks like a really good dish. And like I said, I mean, I really like that whole Asian twist to it. Because, I mean, I don't really know, like, what the taste would be like. But, you know, but knowing the taste of sesame and stuff, I'm like, ooh, I do like that.
Yeah, it is going to be a pretty interesting dish.
So for everybody watching, if you have any questions, let us know. And actually, if you have any suggestions on a recipe for our upcoming shows, then please send those over. And that way Oscar can look through them and pick the one for next week. So we'll be doing this every Thursday, a cook along, so that, you know, we can learn a little bit, learn a new dish, or maybe add a twist to an old dish. I think this is something really fun for everybody to enjoy. And like I've said before, I mean, we would love to have other guests join the conversation, join the show. So if you want to be a part of this, then let us know, because we'd love to get you in here, and that way we can chat and learn about your techniques, because this is really fun. So, all right, give us an update, Oscar. What's going on?
I just want to check the peppers. They're not quite ready yet, so we're gonna continue prepping our other ingredients. So I'm gonna prep this parsley. I'm just gonna slice some of its leafy parts.
So, hey, Millie. Millie is watching. Connie, hey, Connie. I think Connie was the one that suggested the Asian twist, no? I think so. So, Connie, so actually, yes. So sesame oil is definitely part of the Asian twist, but Oscar also added ginger, and I'm trying to remember. I think he added one more thing as well.
I have Chinese Thai spice that I'm going to be using. I have ponzu sauce. I have some soy sauce that I'm also adding to the dish to give it an extra Asian kind of flair. So the onions are they're pretty much done, basically. I mean, they could stay, I mean, it doesn't really matter. They can stay on there for as long as I want them to, because they're not going to brown. I have it on a very, very low heat. I have enough time here to do all of this, and it's not going to brown. So let's see. The next step here, I'm actually going to add my parsley in.
Okay.
Since I have it already prepped.
And yes, it was Connie that added the Asian twist challenge. So thank you, Connie.
Thank you, Connie.
I think this would be cool.
Let's see.
Oscar's like, thank you. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a good challenge. I like it. So what we're gonna do now, what I had talked about earlier was I had just peeled these these tomatoes. What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to take out this little core part of it, this little you see that? We're gonna take that out.
Yeah.
And we're going to cut these into small pieces. And I want to reserve as much of the juice as I can, which is the only reason why I'm not doing this on the cutting board.
Because all of that will be part of the sauce.
Yeah.
Okay. What's up, Louis? Thanks for joining the broadcast.
Hey, Louis.
Okay. Wow. So it's really interesting because I'm seeing what you're doing, right? And then I've also seen the picture from what the dish will ultimately look like, and I'm just trying to understand how we're gonna get there. So this is actually really exciting for me.
Yeah, we haven't even started on the dish you see. We haven't started on the main part yet.
Yeah, so this is pretty elaborate.
Yeah, it's a very complicated kind of dish in that it has like a lot of parts. I think that's very common to a lot of kind of French style cooking. It's very elaborate.
Mm-hmm.
But the techniques are all very, very simple. Like all of this boils down to we're just reducing a mixture of different vegetables to make a sauce, and then we're going to be roasting vegetables in a little pan.
Mm-hmm.
Like none of this is very complicated. It's just all done in a very creative way to give us a great dish at the end.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I really need to cook along with you on one of these occasions.
All right, so the tomatoes are done. Our onions are cooking nicely. I'm going to now add a little bit of seasoning into the onion mixture. So what that means is, for us right now, what it means is I'm actually going to add a little bit of Shaoxing cooking wine.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn the heat up to medium because I'm about to add some liquid in. So that was about 2 tablespoons, I'd say, 2 tablespoons of cooking wine. I'm going to add a little bit of Chinese spice. I think this is about half a teaspoon.
Okay. I was going to ask you, could you move your camera just a little bit, I guess, towards looking towards the stove? Yeah, a little bit more. Okay, there we go. So that way we can see.
And then
okay,
I'm adding
cool.
thyme, which is very important. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of thyme. A little bit of salt. That's about a teaspoon. And I'm just going to mix all this together. It's on that medium heat. So what we want to do is have the liquid evaporate. I'm going to add all my tomatoes in. So what's going to happen now is the tomato is going to cook in this sauce, and it's going to create a lot of liquid, and I want it to cook in its own juices. And I'm going to reduce it, which means I'm going to wait for it to cook, and I'm going to wait for the liquid to evaporate. And while it's evaporating, it's also cooking down all of the vegetables at the same time, right? So it's cooking down my onions, it's cooking down my tomatoes, it's concentrating that flavor, and then the water's disappearing, but all of the vegetables still stick around in there. So at the end of this process, the sauce is going to be like a chunky tomato, onion, and pepper sauce. Speaking of the peppers, let's take them out. So we kind of blistered the peppers a little bit. If you want to put the angle back on, I can show the peppers.
Okay.
So we kind of blistered the peppers a little bit here.
Oh, wow.
And you see how wrinkly it looks now?
Yeah.
This means that once it cools down, which is going to be in a few minutes, once it cools down, I'm going to peel the skin off and use the peppers by themselves and put them into the sauce. So I'm going to put this pan on the stove to cool down. And while that's happening, I'm going to clean this off a little bit.
Have you always had that cutting board?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I had not noticed.
So I just cleaned off my cutting board a little bit. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to prep the rest of my ingredients. So this is the part that you see. This is the part that you see in the dish. That all the round discs, this is what you see. So I have my eggplant here. I'm going to cut off that end slice. And what I'm going to do with each of these, the zucchini, this squash, this eggplant, and these 2 tomatoes, is I am going to slice them very thinly.
Oh, okay. Wow, that looks pretty thin.
Yeah, it's this is probably the longest part of the dish, is slicing all of these things, especially if you're making like a big pan.
Mm-hmm. And you're trying to cut all of them the same size, right?
Yeah, you want to cut them all kind of the same size.
Yeah, because even the veggies, they all also kind of look like the same circumference, you know?
Yeah, that's the goal, is to get kind of similar size vegetables. So the main reason for that, so there are two reasons. One, so that they all cook kind of evenly, but second, it looks nicer when it's all kind of the same size.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's pretty cool. Well, while he's doing that, I think this is a really good time to also remind everybody that the deadline for the census is the 30th of this month. So, you know, we're down to 27 days. And this is such an important thing for you to do. So, you know, as you're winding down your day and looking through your phone, and if you haven't filled it out, you can go to my2020census.gov, and it'll take you less than 10 minutes to fill out the census with all of your information. And I mean, it is such an important thing for you to do. Your community will be very thankful. You will be very thankful, because ultimately it determines so many things, from, you know, budgets and resources, and also representation at the government level. So we just want to really remind everybody to make sure that you fill out your census by September 30th. And you know what? If you're watching, let us know if you already did it. And if you haven't, I'm actually going to post it onto the comments. So then that way you can go ahead and do it now, because this might take a couple. You know what, Oscar? I bet that the same amount of time that it takes you to slice all of that is the amount of time it takes to fill out the census, right?
Yeah, I mean, what does it take? Like 5 minutes to fill out the census?
Yeah.
It might take me a little more than 5 minutes to do.
So basically, you're going to take longer than filling out the census.
Yeah, that's how slow I am.
So yeah, so let us know. Let us know if you filled it out. And we just added onto the comments information. Yay, Connie, thank you. We love knowing that you already got it done. But you know what? It would be so helpful if you also send out this information out to your network on, you know, social media, or maybe some texts out to friends and family, just to remind them. Because, you know, I think right now we all have so much going on that a lot of times we might forget. So, you know, I think any little reminder will definitely help. Yeah, it was really easy. I know. Like my mom speaks Spanish, and so we did it in Spanish. She did it in Spanish. I was just there next to her, you know, helping her along. But easy breezy, boom, it's done. So yay! All right. And so you're gonna do the same with the tomatoes?
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, everybody, we have a lot of stuff going on with OCA. And if you want to keep up to date with you know, upcoming events, job opportunities, we're trying to post internships as well, then, you know, follow us on Facebook, share the information with your friends. We definitely want to make sure to share as many resources with everybody, especially right now. You know, this is such a great tool. Social media is such a great tool to be able to communicate with you. So yeah, follow us on Facebook and other social media. Oscar, you do like a really good job slicing that up. I wouldn't be able to do that.
Actually, one of my earliest and proudest cooking memories was when I was finally able to slice a tomato thinly, consistently. And I remember because when I was a kid, I used to be super, super obsessed with like the way that like a cartoon hamburger. Cartoon hamburgers have like everything looks super thin, like the tomatoes are super thin. You have the lettuce is already thin, so like whatever. But like the tomatoes are always super thin, and they were always the same slice, like the same size, thickness. And I remember when I first got into cooking, one of the first things I wanted to do was be able to slice stuff really, really thinly. So the first time I was able to slice a tomato into very, very thin slices consistently was I think it was actually in late high school, and I remember I took a picture of it and I showed it to all my friends.
Really?
I was so happy that I was able to finally slice something that easily.
But I mean, that is a good technique there. Connie wants to know, what kind of knife are you using? I need to get one like that.
Good question. So this is a Zwilling Henkel's. It's a German knife. The style is a Japanese style knife. This is an akiri. It's primarily a vegetable knife, and this is perfect for chopping vegetables and stuff. But it's a German brand. So this is Zwilling Henkel's. It's their I think Zwilling has two lines. One is kind of a cheaper line that's available in most kind of grocery stores and stuff. Like if you go to well, not grocery stores. If you go to somewhere like Target, you'll probably find like kind of like the base models Zwillings there. It's Zwillings. But this is a little bit more expensive than a normal Zwilling because the steel I think is a little bit better. I got this years ago. I don't remember the details, but I remember this knife cost me about, I think it was 120 for this knife, and this was the first cooking knife that I bought. Was this one, and I've had it for I've had it now for like 2 or 3 years. I remember I was cooking for a long time with just a very, very cheap chef's knife, and I decided that I wanted to use something a little bit more expensive, a little bit higher, not higher duty, but a little bit I guess classier. I don't know, but this is the first one I got. This knife here is also a Zwilling knife. I think this is from its cheaper line, but this is a Zwilling's paring knife, and I got this a couple of years ago when I took a trip to for folks that are from San Antonio. I know Millie said that she lives in San Antonio now. I took a trip to Fredericksburg, which is nearby, and while I was there, I went into a knife store and they had this there. I got that one. I got a little paring knife for like $25. So not too bad. And I don't think I've not gotten another knife since. So these are the same knives I've used for about 2 years now. But if you want to get this, just search for it online. I know you can order this online. It's a Zwillings, Zwilling, Nakiri, Nakiri. So it's a great knife. Really cool.
I mean, it's a beautiful knife. But like I said before, I definitely don't cook that often. But I think, I think for somebody that that does cook a lot, I mean, it's a great investment to have, good utensils, good cooking utensils.
Definitely a good investment. Let's see here. So I have these peppers that we had blistered earlier. They're cool to the touch. I mean, they're not cool, but like they're warm, and I'm not gonna burn my hand touching them. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna peel them. Look at that. Look at how easily the skin peels off.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Connie's gonna check online. Love it.
Yeah, let me know if you find it. I mean, if you want other details, I can probably give them to you if you can't find it with what I already said. I'm gonna peel all of them. Look at that. Look at how easily the skin comes off.
And so ultimately you'll be slicing these as well into like small pieces or chopping.
These are gonna go into that sauce that we have on the stove right now. So I'm gonna cut these into little pieces, and I'm going to add them all into the sauce, have them cook for a little bit, and then we'll be ready to go.
Sweet.
So this one is a little bit harder. So what I'm going to do is the parts that were kind of problematic, I'm just going to use my paring knife to take out the skin. I'm going to slice that part off, actually. I don't want to take too much time trying to do this. So that's gone. And then I have the yellow pepper here. Take what I can off. Whatever I can't, let's slice off like that.
And so the whole skin thing, is that, I guess, mandatory, or is that more because of taste, like just that you prefer to have?
This is a texture thing. So the recipe calls for this, and the reason why we want this, we want the skin removed from the tomatoes, the reason why we want the skin removed from the peppers is a texture thing. So we don't want to taste the toughness we don't want to be able to chew on the toughness of pepper skins or tomato skins.
Okay. Yeah, so Connie says that there's so much prepping, you need a sous chef. Yeah, I mean, I think that for a recipe like this that is more elaborate, you definitely, it would be helpful to have that extra hand.
Yeah.
For all of the slicing and chopping and, have all of that prepped up.
Absolutely, I agree. It's always fun to have more people in the kitchen.
Well, maybe one of these days.
One of these days.
Yeah, I mean, hey, so, like we said before, we definitely love to have somebody else join us here on the broadcast as well. So if you want to be part of the show, let us know. I mean, it would be cool if we could like prep stuff here and then just like send it over, but yeah, that's not going to happen.
All right, so all the peppers are done.
And so right now on the stove, is the sauce, is it still on low? Is it on medium?
I turned it down to low.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the peppers in. and I am going to stir it up, and I'm going to cook it. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit because I see there's a little more water in here. We want the sauce to be kind of dry. We want it to be a dry kind of paste kind of thing. So I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. I'm going to cook it for just a little bit longer. Not very long, maybe 5 minutes. I'm cooking for maybe 5 minutes longer. And then it's going to come off the stove, and we're going to be ready to go to the next part. This is a really long dish. So we're going to go over time today. It's already 5:56. We're definitely going to go over time, unfortunately, because this is a little bit of a process. So for those of you that want to stick around and see it all the way through, at least the preparation stage, at least putting this dish together, stick around and we'll make it do that. But another surprise I was actually waiting to unveil later is that I've actually already cooked this dish. I cooked another one earlier today that I have ready. It's in my...
Did you lose it?
In an orange pot here. So it's actually, this one's already ready to go.
Okay.
The goal for the broadcast today was for me to show you guys how to do the sauce, what ingredients we wanted to use, how to prep all of this, and we have one more step to go, which is actually putting all of these pieces together before it goes into the oven. Mm-hmm. So if you guys bear with me for just a sec, we're about to get there. As soon as this sauce dries up a little bit, we're going to be able to start.
Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. So I did not know that he already had a dish ready. So this is cool. It's the magic of TV or the interwebs.
So this is pretty much done, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
So this is like a paste, right? So I'm going to take out a little bit of this, like a little ladle. I'm going to set it aside, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that in a sec.
Okay.
But right now, what's important is that we have this pot with this sauce at the bottom. So now we start putting the dish together. What we're going to do now is we're going to alternate. We're going to get each of these vegetables and we're going to alternate them. Like that.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna start with this eggplant. I'm gonna put my zucchini, the yellow squash, and a tomato. And I'm going to actually move this camera over a little bit so you can see this a little better. See a little better what I'm doing.
Okay.
Right, so I'm going to, and you want to expose about a fourth of the slice of each slice of vegetable, right? Mm-hmm. So I have that here like this. I'm going to keep going.
Oh, so this is where it gets interesting. So I don't think I had realized that the sauce would be underneath the rest of the veggies.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's where they are.
No, that's really okay. That's cool.
So we're just gonna keep doing this until we make it all the way around, and then we're gonna move the circle into the middle. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. And you might not use all of your vegetables, and that's okay. You can always use these vegetables for something else. You can make like a soup with them. I don't know. You can make whatever you want with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I just finished the outer ring. I'm gonna move in.
Wow, this is cool.
So it's a pretty intricate dish to put together.
I mean, but it looks so beautiful on the pictures.
Yeah, I definitely think the end result is worth it. Even if you're just making this one time, just to, try it out for yourself, just to say you made it.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it. I mean, that's the only reason why I did it the first time that I made this dish. I did it so that I could say that I did it. But it's a very, very delicious end product also. All right. So I have my rings put together. This is what it looks like.
Okay.
And I'm just going to cover the middle with like a squash or something. I don't know. I'll just do it like that. And then now what you do is you get a lid or you get some foil, you cover the pan, and then you put this in the oven, 350 degrees, put it into the oven.
Oh, I did not know. Okay.
You put it in the oven for 350, and you leave it in there for about, I don't know, like 40 minutes, half an hour to 40 minutes. And in that time, all the vegetables are going to cook. The sauce is going to cook. It's going to cook up. The flavor is going to go through. And then while that's happening, what we're going to do is we're going to make the last part, which is the vinaigrette that's going to go on top of this. And this is where we have kind of the most freedom in putting in our Asian ingredients, right? So what I'm going to do right now is, if you look at this, I have a bunch of vegetables left over. Like I didn't use all of my squash. I didn't use all of my zucchini. I didn't use all of my eggplant. I'm just going to put them all in the bowl and reserve them. I'm probably just going to make some soup or something out of them later. Because I'm about to have 2 ratatouilles by the end of tonight. I'm not going to cook another ratatouille.
I mean, you can send some over to Houston.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if only it kept. So I'm going to clean out the board because I don't want all this juice on here. And now we have vinaigrette. So we're going to start. This is everything we're going to use in vinaigrette. We're going to use a little bit of pepper. We're going to use all these things, actually.
Okay.
And a little bit of 5 spice. So folks will know that a vinaigrette basically is a mixture of spices with an oil, which is going to be sesame oil, some sort of oil, and some sort of acid, right? So for most of the acid, I'm going to have this fermented honey, which is a sweet, sour kind of thing. And I'm going to use a little bit of ponzu, right? So it's a little bit tangy. It's mostly savory, but it's a little bit tangy. And usually people like to add some sort of sweet thing to the vinaigrette. And for that, I'm going to use both this honey and a little bit of Chinese 5 spice, which is a little bit sweet. So it has a very complex flavor, but it has a very sweet taste. So we have the leftover, what we have right here is a leftover piperade, that sauce of that mixture of tomatoes and peppers and onions that I had reserved from earlier. So into this, I'm going to add all of these ingredients. So I'm going to add first about 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. And I'm going to just get gonna start mixing this. I'm gonna add some of this fermented honey. That's about a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half.
I've never had fermented honey.
What?
That's interesting. I mean, I had never even heard of fermented honey.
I didn't either until I got this. I'm gonna put a little bit of ponzu. So ponzu is gonna be a little bit salty. Normally in a vinaigrette, you might see someone add salt. We're not adding salt.
Okay.
We already had some salt actually in this mix, and from earlier we put some this mixture is actually already seasoned, right? We put the thyme in earlier. We put the salt and we put the Shaoxing wine, so it's already seasoned. So we're just adding some more layers of flavor, and I'm gonna add about half a teaspoon of Chinese pie spice.
And have you tried doing this, or have you had this vinaigrette with anything else?
Just with this.
Okay.
I'm gonna put a little bit of soy sauce. Also has a little bit of saltiness. And I have two more ingredients I'm gonna add. I'm gonna add some fresh raw ginger. Now this is definitely Asian. So you see raw ginger and raw garlic. I have ginger right here. You see raw ginger, raw garlic added to a lot of Asian foods and Asian sauces and stuff like that. So we're gonna do that here. And what that's gonna do is gonna give it a little bit of a spicy taste without us having to add any hot sauce, without us having to add chilies. This is just the spiciness from the garlic. And
man, you're getting a shout out for the Asian twist. So Connie says, great Asian ingredients for Asian twist.
Thanks. Yeah, that was a really exciting challenge. So thanks, Connie, for that. And I'm going to grate a little bit of ginger into there.
Oh, okay.
Just to make sure it's extra fine. So now I'm gonna just mix it all up. I'm gonna give it a little taste first. That's perfect. So 5 spice gives it a very, very rich, a little bit sweet kind of flavor. It's kind of like the flavor you would taste in like a roast duck, like a Chinese roast duck or something, or like it gives it a Chinese barbecue type of flavor. Really, really delicious. Fermented honey also provides a little sweetness and a little acidity. It's really, really great. We're gonna add a little bit of just ground pepper in there, just give it a little more of a kick. The garlic definitely shines through here. Garlic and ginger are we didn't put a lot of it, but it's pretty powerful. So you can definitely taste it. And then the soy sauce helps kind of bring everything together with its kind of rich umami taste. So this is ready.
Okay.
We are going to,
we have a quick question. So what does Ratatouille normally have in their vinaigrette?
Ratatouille's vinaigrette normally has like so salt, pepper, some Western spices like you can add thyme, you can add rosemary. Sometimes when I make Western vinaigrettes, I'll add like peppermint in it, which is something
okay.
that can lighten the flavor of whatever you're using, especially if you're having your vinaigrette on like something like ratatouille you just serve hot, or if you have some kind of, I'm gonna move the camera a little bit so it's not on my hands as much. I'm gonna just put my hands on the side. But yeah, so the normal vinaigrette has like some Western spices, olive oil, balsamic vinegar. It's basically like your typical balsamic vinaigrette mixed with this mixture of tomatoes, peppers, and stuff. So it's kind of like a more complex version of a basic balsamic vinaigrette. So yeah, just have your pick of whatever vinaigrette that you might sell in the store, or that like Gordon Ramsay might teach you how to make, and that's what the vinaigrette is.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry, I need to plug in my laptop before it dies. So yeah. All right. I'm back. All right. So now you're looking at the sauce. No, I'm trying to remember. Let's see. Where are we at in the process?
So now we're actually going to use the one I already made, and we're going to plate it up.
Oh. Okay. Because right now we have the sauce in the oven, right, with the veggies, so everything gets nice and cooked, and you have the vinaigrette that's ready to go. So yeah, now you can plate it up. All right.
Yeah, but now I have one that's already made. So what I'm doing right now is actually I have my pre-made one on the stove here. I have the stove on high. I want to heat up real fast. I just want to heat up really quickly, and then I'm going to take it over here and I'm going to start plating.
Okay. That's so cool. See, this is the TV magic. Oh, Eugene, I see that you have joined the viewer, so good to have you.
All right, so it's bubbling. This is done. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like first.
Okay, hold on. Oh, wow.
This is it cooked.
Okay.
I actually haven't plated this before.
So this is the good part, y'all. Let's see what happens. You got this.
We're gonna try and make this happen.
Yeah, because I'm still in awe. Because I had not realized that the sauce would be underneath. So that's pretty cool. And this is a vegetarian dish.
Yeah, actually I didn't use any chicken stock. I didn't use any meat-based stuff. So yeah, this is a vegetarian dish.
So I think for all of our vegetarians out there, this is such a great option for you to make at home.
Look at that.
Perdón.
Look at that.
Okay. So they're asking, have you ever considered going on a cooking show, like competing?
No. No. So we have vinaigrette. I'm just gonna put a little bit more on the side here, and that's it.
Oh,
that's it. This is
nice.
With the twist.
Oh my gosh! I wish we could zoom in.
Get hype! Look at all those colors.
Oh, nice presentation. Okay.
Look at all of those colors. I can't wait. I can't wait to try this. I'm telling you, I cannot wait.
Yeah, well, I think that we all would love to try it as well.
All right. Well, that's ratatouille, and I'm gonna have a taste now.
Okay, let's see.
Mm.
Yes, yes.
Mm. Sauce, I mean the vinaigrette on top is so great because so the reason why I chose to kind of focus more on the vinaigrette and focus more on the sauce at the bottom as the Asian parts of this dish is because we have is so that we have this flavor sandwich, right? We have the Asian on top, Asian flavor at the bottom, and then we just have the vegetables in the middle, and that's exactly what we have here. We have the vegetables; they are nice and tender. They still have a little bit of that crispness because they have the skin on still, right? So it gives a bit of texture. So it's a nice texture. It's resting on top of this nice sauce that's at the bottom that is soft, but a little chunky because we have chunks of tomato and the peppers and stuff with that five spice flavor of the Shaoxing wine. And then on top, we have the vinaigrette, which is the big flavor, the big Asian flavor, right? It has the raw ginger, it has the raw garlic, it has the all of our soy sauce and ponzu sauce and the sesame oil. It's just a really great combination of flavors. And yeah, this is awesome. Like I've made this before. I've made ratatouille before. I made it about a year ago, just as a joke, right? I made it as a joke because I like the movie. So I made this a year ago, and I made it in the classic French. Like I followed that recipe, and that's great tasting. But this is a whole new
a whole nother level
way, right? Like the only ways we could have made this better. I'm thinking about it now, and what we could have done is we could have added some spring onions to this vinaigrette.
Ooh, okay.
That will give it a little bit more freshness, a little bit of a spicy, like a kind of that oniony blast, and then maybe a little bit of fish sauce to add a little more of a savory, salty flavor. But like by itself right now, this is already this is great. I tell you, this is one of the dishes that I have been the most excited to make on the show. Like
I think we could tell 2 weeks ago.
You will not believe how long I had spent just thinking about am I gonna cook one of these before the show? How am I gonna stagger these things together? Like I spent so much time planning this one out. I'm really glad it turned out well.
That's so cool. Well, and I think we're all pretty sad that we're not there to try it. Connie, by the way, he's in San Antonio. So yeah, I don't know. Connie, I think that you're in Houston, or maybe you're somewhere here in Texas. I forgot, but yeah. I mean, come on, Oscar. I'm pretty sure there's some delivery service.
Not this. Not this.
But you know what? Seriously, the vinaigrette, I would love to just try that with something, you know?
That's great. You can, I actually, little other secret, I'm not just eating ratatouille for dinner because this would be terrible by itself. I'm not going to get full off of eating ratatouille, you know? This is not filling. So you definitely have to eat it with something else. And I made some chicken while we were doing all of this. I had some chicken in the oven, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna have that vinaigrette with my chicken because that's great. That is really excellent.
Yeah. So we need you to share the recipe of the vinaigrette because, I mean, as you were putting everything, I'm like, okay, all right, this sounds good. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's great. It's really delicious. Yeah. Well, that's ratatouille, everyone. That's it. This is it.
And Oscar is really excited. I mean, can I just share this with everybody? So for Zoom, the first thing that I remember about Oscar is the virtual background being like Ratatouille. The little mouse, the little mouse from the Disney film. So sorry to call you out, but that was the first thing that I remember. I was like, wait, is that from the Disney film? So, I mean, you know, I really do think that he loves this dish, and I'm excited that it all came out really well. And I just wish we could all taste it.
You know, me too. I mean, we can all have what we want, right? I mean, I get to have this dish. You guys get to not. I guess. I don't know. Well, I mean, you guys are all cooking food at home. You guys are all cooking great food. We're all cooking great food. I just happen to cook ratatouille.
Well, and I mean, you know, I think that, yeah, we can all just try this recipe now and, yeah, and have fun with it. Because, and again, Connie, we cannot thank you enough. Thank you for suggesting that Asian Twist challenge, because that was bomb. That was awesome.
Thank you, Connie. I mean, this was your suggestion brought all of this to life. All of this vinaigrette, all of this.
Yep.
Just because of you, Connie. All because of you. So thanks so much for the suggestion. Thanks for the challenge. For next week, I have not decided at all what I want to do yet. So if you want to drop a comment, let me know what you want me to do next week. It can be something. It can be one of these challenges. Make an Asian version of this. It can just be a classic Asian dish. Anything you guys want. I'll look at it. I'll look at how to do it. I'll think about it, and I'll pick one by Monday, and you guys will have something to get excited about for Thursday again, right?
Yeah, so awesome. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. We really appreciate you being part of it. Connie, thank you. This has been fun. This has been really fun. So thanks for the suggestion. Yeah, just a reminder to tune in every Thursday here at 7. We might be a couple minutes late starting, but we'll be here for sure. And drop your recipe suggestion. Oh,
Doug.
Yeah, what?
I am not. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not doing that.
I don't even
do that. That is so much. That I don't even think I have the tools to be able to do that well. I'm sorry.
I'm like, I have no words.
That might actually be the one thing that's impossible for me to make in this kitchen. I can look into it and I can see if I can make some. If I can, it's definitely up for consideration. You know, it would be so awesome if I could make a Peking duck in here. That would be great. So if I can find out a way to do it, I will. But I don't think I'll be able to. So don't hold your breath for that one.
But you know what? I'm gonna keep pushing. So good suggestion there.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep it in consideration. It is something I really wanted to make for a long time. Peking duck is one of my favorite dishes. Every time I go somewhere that has it on the menu, I will get it no matter what restaurant it is, just to see what it tastes like. Like I might regret it, but you know, I think it's worth the risk. But yeah, cool. Thanks everyone.
Okay. Oh, vegetarian duck. Okay. Wow. We have a lot. Well, Oscar has a lot of things to think about now.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of things to think about.
Very cool. Well, thank you everybody, and we will see you next Thursday. And again, cannot leave without reminding you, September 30th, deadline for census. So please make sure you fill it out. And thank you again. So everybody have a great evening. And Oscar, enjoy your ratatouille.
Thank you. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
See you next Thursday.